you ready? Good? Good evening, everybody. We'll go ahead and resume our meeting that was recessed from September 22nd, and we'll go ahead and get everything started. I want to start this evening by saying welcome back to Danny. We've missed Danny the last couple of times. He's been out. Can I tell him what your ailment has been, Danny? But he's had shingles in his eye,
left eye.
So he's had a tough go for about 8 or 10 weeks here. So we're glad that he's back and feeling well enough to be with us.
Good to be back.
So, but we also want to take a moment, if we can, and just have a moment of silence again for Kelly Crawford. She's still at the Shepherd Center. She is making progress in the positive direction, although it is slow progress. But she is trending in an upward direction. So we do want to just take a moment and have a moment of silence for Miss Kelly Crawford, if we could, please. Thank you. I'll ask Mr. Caldwell if he would lead us in the
Attention.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Ash, do you mind reading the Clay County Schools mission statement?
Yeah. The mission of Clay County Schools is to build high-quality learning environments that ensure all students learn at high levels.
Thank you. And our next regular meeting will be on October the 27th here in the boardroom at 6 p.m. And I'll entertain a motion that we approve the agenda.
Make a motion to accept.
Mr. Caldwell has a motion. Mr. Jones seconds. All in favor? Thank you. And Angel, you said there was no public comment, right? Okay. So we'll move on to our recognition section. I'll let Ms. Godfrey do that, please.
Dr. Clapsaddle, would you come up and help me with this one? Amanda, come on up. We just wanted to take a minute and recognize this special lady. This is Amanda Danico, and she works in our special needs classroom in the middle school. Recently there was a student medical emergency. We had a student who was choking, purple, losing color. It was a real emergency. 911 on the phone, and Amanda stepped in and did the Heimlich. And from what I understand, it's not the first time that she's done this in her career. So I couldn't be more thankful that Amanda was in the right place at the right time. But she intervened and was able to dislodge the biscuit. It was biscuit, right? That was chicken biscuit. Yeah, it was chicken for breakfast. But because of her action, she changed what could have been a very scary and dangerous situation. But because of her swift action, she stepped in and saved the day, truly. And so we just wanted to take a minute and just recognize her and express our appreciation for just what you do on the daily, not just in this particular situation, but there are so many needs that those kids have that Amanda never shies away from any of it. And sometimes you guys are asked to do things that are a lot. And so if you will never see Amanda where she's not fully joyful and enjoying the moment, whatever the moment is bringing. And sometimes that might be hard to do for some of us, but not Amanda. So I just wanted to take a minute and just honor her and what she contributes to our district on the day. So, thank you.
Thank you. Put you in the paper. Thank you.
had to move the date of this meeting. It overlaps with an event that the elementary school is doing, so they're having a parent night here in the cafeteria to teach parents about the house system, and so that started at 5:30. So we are missing some of those we want to honor, but I told them that if they came in and we had already done it, we would just come back and do it again. So we wanted to take a minute and recognize some of our teachers that had outstanding performance during last year's EOGs and EOCs. And so they're listed there on the agenda, but I know that a few of them haven't made it up here just yet, so we can start with those that are here. I see people. That was perfect timing. Guys, I was just sharing what you guys have been doing. Sorry. It's okay. It was truly perfect timing. So if I could have first Miss Gail Thayer and Miss Keisha McClure come on up, please. So just to share a little bit about this with you all, when school performance grades come out, we get a spreadsheet that you can separate by school, you can separate by region, you can separate by district, and you're too bad. Sorry, I'm getting emotional. Yes. So you can separate the whole, there's a lot of different data, but we tend to look at where our district falls because we really truly feel like we're one campus and one community, and so we like to see where our district fell in comparison to other districts. And so I'm very happy to report that our 4th grade students last year in reading were the highest performing in the state for 4th graders. And these two lovely ladies were the teachers of those students, and so I definitely know that those students worked hard, but I also know that their teachers worked equally as hard to make that happen. And so we just wanted to recognize you guys, and so Miss Keisha McClure and Miss Gail Thayer. Congratulations.
You want me to do individual group pictures?
We can wait and do it together.
Yeah, why don't y'all sing here? Perfect. Yeah,
Oh,
perfect.
I didn't mean to.
All right. Here. Just here. Miss Sarah Jones and Miss Jessica Hughes. Come on up. And so for these ladies, our 4th grade, again, same grade level, these 4th grade students were the 2nd highest performing district in the state. So congratulations, Miss Sarah Jones and hopefully Miss Jessica Hughes. And so I also want to note that this cohort of kids achieved these same results as 3rd graders. So as 3rd graders, they were the highest performing in the state by district and 2nd highest in math. And so it's sometimes hard when they come to you high to keep them high. And so you guys did a really great job, and I'm super proud of you. Miss Brooke Keeling, come on up.
Yeah,
You have to stay. So Miss Brooke Keeling teaches 6th grade ELA, and her students were 7th in the state. So congratulations. Miss Kristen Taylor, come on up. Miss Kristen teaches 7th grade math, and they were 9th in the state. Danielle Barter, come on up. If you know anything about 8th grade math, you know how much pride Danielle must feel to be up here to celebrate this accomplishment, because 8th grade math is a whole thing. And I think that this success represents a lot of hard work in the grades below, but certainly a lot of hard work on Danielle's part. And so I'm very happy to say that our 8th grade math was 10th in the state. So Colby White, come on up. So to tell you a little bit about when I called Colby and said, hey, can you come to the board meeting? We really love to recognize you. Colby teaches Math 3 at the high school, and our Math 3 students were 3rd highest in the state, and so we're so very proud of that. But as I was talking to him about coming to this board meeting, he said, you know what? He said, I really need Stephanie Foley there. So come on up, Stephanie. And I'll let Colby share kind of the partnership that they have and how and why he felt it important to. All of our EC teachers across the grade levels are instrumental in the kids' success. But Colby felt very strongly that Stephanie was a huge part of the success of the Math 3 sports, and so anything you want to share?
No, it's simple. She walks in, I get out the way. Very simple.
I'd like to recognize Mr. Colby. Right? Next on the agenda, we also have our entire school performance report. This is just the highlights. This is just those that scored in the top 10, but there were certainly even more things to celebrate that our principals are going to share with you. But these were just top 10 finishes, and super proud. I wanted to recognize you all. So congratulations.
Congratulations.
Let's go, everybody.
Should we do like
Nope, just come on, everybody.
opening them?
All the way up.
Everybody with names
Hold
up?
it over.
We're smiling or serious?
Smile.
Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3.
No, serious.
Congratulations, everybody.
Congratulations, you guys. All right. Now I'd like to invite Ms. T, Dr. Topside, Mr. Overland up. And I've got a copy that you guys can look on. So each of our principals is going to share some highlights of their school performance data, and then I'll wrap up with some district highlights. Certainly lots to celebrate and lots to share with you. And this is really just a snippet, but these are the things we wanted to make sure that you all knew and were aware of. So turn it over to you.
Okay. All right, so for Hayesville Elementary School, we, when you look at our school score, we did drop to a C this year. We have been, as a school improvement team, working really hard this summer to identify areas that we felt like needed to be strengthened to make sure that we were back up to a B and eventually to an A. So one of our big highlights is, as you saw up here, that our 5th grade students now, 2 years in a row, have been the highest in the state, and so we're really excited about that for our reading, and then second for the math. So our overall reading proficiency was 60% of our students scoring a 3, 4, or 5 on the EOG. Math was 63.5, and our science was 67.8% proficient. So we have lots of things already in place. We've done some moving and restructuring. We've looked at some new programs to use for intervention, so we're excited to see what this year gets us.
And if I could just chime in just for a quick second, I will say that last year Ms. T and her team tried some new things with their schedule, and I commend her for being brave to try new things. And then sometimes when you try new things, you say, well, that worked great, or it didn't work as well. And so she's been able to now sit back and look at those schedule changes and personnel things and just try to fit the puzzle together in a way that promotes the success you guys have had. Yeah, and so there's been a lot of work that's already been done to address this. But I just want to say, like, I love when people take risks, and so I don't think there's any shame in ever taking a risk and seeing how it goes. So I think you guys did a great job and have a lot to be proud of.
We're excited about this year.
Yeah. Middle school? Yeah. So we were also at a C this year, which is where we were before, but I would like to know that we were 10 points higher than we were last year.
So our goal this year is to, just like Ms. Teague said, to get to a B. We're 5 points away from that B right there. But just like Ms. Godfrey had already said, we had several, or we were proud of all of them, but several of the ones that you saw up here. In the Western region, we were highest in that 6th grade reading. In the Western region and 7th in the state, and then highest performing district in the Western region and 9th in the state for 7th grade math. And I think what we're probably prouder of is that we met growth there, because not all of the students come to you on that grade level, so we're proud that we met growth to get those students to the next level. And then, just like Ms. Godfrey said, that 8th grade math, that overall 8th grade includes the math EOG and the math 1, so it's like a composite. But probably we did double the number of students that took math 1 and increased that proficiency to 93%. And then you've got the overall scores for the reading and math and the science. The reading and math both came up overall approximately 10 points each. So we, kind of like Ms. Teague said, we are focusing for our literacy, we're focusing a whole lot on writing and vocabulary. And you may have seen something on social media, or if you're a parent, or mind a message that we're doing the vocabulary quiz bowl for the next 2 weeks. And the students, I guess I shouldn't say this publicly, we're tricking them. They're really having a good time mastering vocabulary terms and meeting others. So we're excited to kind of see where that goes also. Questions?
I would just like to say that 10 points increase in student achievement is huge. It doesn't happen easily, so huge celebration there.
All right, we're ready for the high school. Good evening, Clay County. Glad to be here with you. Overall, our high school was a B-rated school, and we met our growth expectations. Drilling down into the 4 tested areas, the 4 big ones, English 2 proficiency was 62.2%. Math 1 proficiency was 34.2. Math 3 was 85.9. That was Kobe White, who was here earlier. And biology was 55.3. So this is the 4th year in a row that the high school, Hayesville High School, has been a B school and met growth. And so you're used to hearing me say that every year. We're really proud of that. That's a big deal. If you look at the 9 high schools from Franklin to the west, there are only 2, us and Murphy High School, who have done that, who have achieved a B and met growth the last 4 years in a row. So we're really proud of that. As mentioned before, Math 3 proficiency was 3rd in the state, and we were the highest one in the far west. Also, the work keys. We're 4th in the state for work keys. That's a workforce readiness test. The students who are CTE completers, or I guess concentrators now, sorry. The concentrators take that test in their senior year. So we did really well with that, and we met or exceeded growth in all of our subject areas. So again, really proud of we had a good school year last year, and looking for a better one this year. Any questions for me?
Questions or comments? Very good. Thank you, folks. Nice job.
I'm going to carry on a little bit and just kind of share some big picture stuff. Overall, we ranked 13th in the state out of 115 school districts. So very, very proud of that. We were 19th last year. So super, super proud of that. Overall, when you look across all grades 3 through 12, we were 61.2% proficient, which is 1.5% higher than last year. So all trending in the right direction. I do want to know that the reason you didn't see Ms. Clemens up here is because Hayesville Primary does not get their own school performance grade because they don't do EOGs, and that's how this data is based. So just to kind of break down a little bit, I wanted to share with you reading grades 3 through 8. When you look at grades 3 through 8 in reading, overall we were 6.8% above the state average in readings grade 3 through 8. I have listed there all grade levels were above the state average, and so you can see anywhere from 3% all the way up to 14% above the state average. And all grade levels were in the top 20 of the state out of 115 districts in reading. So lots of celebrations in reading 3.8. Next slide is on math 3.8. Overall, in math 3.8, we were 6.1% above the state average. 4 of our 6th grade levels were above the state average, anywhere from 5% up to 14%. And 3 of our grade levels scored in the top 20 of the state out of 115 districts. So lots to celebrate there in math as well. Moving on to science, I want to note that grades 5 and 8 are the only grades that take an EOG in science. And then of course there's biology in the high school. All of those were new assessments last year, so brand new to us. And you can see that both grades 5 and 8 were above the state average, anywhere from 5 to 7%, and both grade levels were in the top 20 of the state for their respective grade levels. Some more celebrations related to high school. We were the top 20 in the state for ACT. We scored 17th in the state, and we're 7.2% above the state average. We were above the state average in 3 of the 4 EOC subject areas, anywhere from 2.8% all the way up to 19.5% with Math 3. And again, biology, new test there for us, was 7% above the state average. And again, 3 of our 4 were also in the top 25 of the state. Of course, when we look at this data, we're also, in addition to looking for all the things we want to celebrate, we're also looking for the areas that we want to continue addressing. And so there are pockets where expected growth was not achieved, and so those are areas that we're specifically targeting. We're looking specifically at our EL progress. Those would be our English language learners. When we look at those students and how they perform, they do very well, but they take a specific test called the WIDA Access Test, where their scores are not scoring quite as high as they are on some of the EOGs and EOCs. And so we're really looking at how we administer that test to see if there's things we can do to improve that, so that their progress on that test matches what we're seeing with the other assessments that we give. And obviously we always want to work on increasing proficiency with an intentional focus on increasing math proficiency. So those are our goals moving forward for this year. The work for this is already well underway. So this kind of feels like old news a little bit to us, but this data did just become public, and so we wanted to make sure that we shared the highlights with you all. Do you all have any questions? Just really want to commend our team, our teachers, our staff. It doesn't matter. I truly believe that no matter what your position is on this campus, you contribute to this in some way. Whether you're a bus driver and you start the kids' day off well, or you keep the classrooms clean, whatever the case may be, I think that all of our staff heavily contribute to our success in the district. And so I'm just very proud to be among them and to see the great things that are being accomplished.
Very good. Thank y'all. That was awesome. Next, we have the action section of our agenda. The first item there is the approval of the contract with Bolton for HVAC maintenance.
I think is there a superintendent report?
Oh, sorry, there is. I apologize.
Y'all are getting way too much of me tonight. Well, let me get all these things, okay?
Sorry.
It will be a bit hard to follow up that school performance data, but I'm going to give it my best shot. Just to start out, a few things I wanted to mention. Really, this superintendent report goes all the way back to the first day of school. The last time we met was the first day of school, so there's a lot of things that have happened since then, but I'll just highlight a few of them. HPS had their annual fun run, which happened just a couple of weeks ago. That was a great event. They raised $19,000, which was incredible. They also just, if you visit HPS, they have a new, newly decorated entryway. They used funds from last year's fun run, and they put some privacy film up in their foyer area that not only provides kind of a privacy into the hallway, but it also is very cutely decorated with the bees and the hive and the 4 houses, and it just looks really, really good. I know they're very proud of that. And just last week had Rock Your School Day. Their theme was learning is a journey. And so they did some global studies kind of thing, did rotations. I know my kid was super stoked about his day, and catching his marshmallow on fire and while they were making s'mores, and they had a great time. As I mentioned earlier, the elementary school is having house family night going on tonight in the cafeteria. They're feeding the families and teaching them all about the house system and how to be involved in that. They also just had Rock Your School Day, and their theme was level up. And so it's like a video game theme about how to level up your learning. The middle school's been very busy. There are global leaders initiatives underway. Teachers are incorporating global competencies into lessons, and some have global shout outs in their room. As you'll remember, we received the Golden Leaf grant. Dr. Copsaddle and I have been working hard on that. That's starting to take shape. Up next, students, staff, and parents will have an opportunity to complete a survey that will guide our next steps into becoming a high reliability school. You may remember me mentioning Plot Talk is a new book club that students can participate in. There are up to 55 students that have voluntarily participated in book clubs, so I think that's really exciting. And as Dr. Copsaddle mentioned earlier, they're participating in the nationwide vocabulary quiz bowl, where students are competing against other schools to master vocab words. So they've been enjoying that. It's been a busy few weeks at the high school. Last week was Spirit Week that culminated with homecoming. So that was a great event. The seniors also painted the rock, so if you've not seen it, go over and take a look at it. It looks amazing. They recently held a senior parent night, and then they've got a FAFSA night coming up. We also have the pre-ACT and the PSAT coming up, as well as Powder Puff football coming up. So lots of fun and academic things coming up, and also a pep rally this Friday coming up. So lots of exciting things there. I want to share a little bit about the intermediate school. I won't spend too much time on this because these were the September notes, so they've obviously changed since then. And there is a building subcommittee meeting coming up on the 17th that the board is invited to attend. That'll be at 8 o'clock, and it'll be an opportunity to walk the site and see how it's changed and get updates. But in general, what happened in September was the majority of the building steel has been erected. Miscellaneous steel is ongoing. The decking has been installed in Area C, Area A, and the kitchen. The masonry CMU is nearing completion. Diamonds have been poured except for 3 remaining in Area B. The cafeteria floor has been poured. The remainder of Line B storm drain was completed. The roof leaders from the building are currently being tied in. The planned work for September and October is to complete the CMU. The welders will continue welding out and installing miscellaneous steelwork, including the catwalk and the auditorium. Plan to continue with installing decking throughout. Prepare the second level floor for pouring in the classroom wing. And begin the installation of structural interior wall framing. So, lots of exciting things. Every time I drive from town, I realize how much it's changing and how quickly. Also want to let everyone know, I did submit a application for the needs-based capital grant for this cycle. It was submitted last week. We requested $14 million so that we could finish the building by completing the elementary wing. And we hope to hear about that in the next 30 to 45 days as to whether or not we receive that. I really appreciate the commissioner's support. That application does require a 5% match if it's granted, so that would be $700,000 that the county would have to pitch in, and so they signed off that they would support that if we receive the grant, so very thankful for that. Like I said, we do have a building subcommittee meeting coming up on October 17th. We do expect a change order in the near future, so that will either be at the October board meeting or the November board meeting at the latest. We'll talk about that at subcommittee meeting. Other things that have been going on that I want to highlight, Communities for Students and Anissa Roberts have done an incredible job. We wanted to create an inventory of all the books in our classroom library, so it's easily available for parents or anyone who wants to know what books we have in our school. And that was a huge undertaking. Heather, how many books did the primary school have?
It's a little over 15,000.
15,000 books.
Just in the primary school.
And that's just the primary school. The elementary school is very similar. Communities for Students volunteers took care of doing primary and elementary, and Anissa Roberts did middle school and high school. And so that was a huge undertaking. We used the library scanners to put ISBN numbers into a Google sheet, and then Adrian did some sort of formatting with AI to add in the book title. And anyway, it was definitely a group project, but I'm happy to say that it's completed and very thankful for those that made it happen. We recently opened the parent portal side of Infinite Campus so that parents can log in and check students' grades and attendance, and that seems to be going well. We've just passed the 30-day mark for health assessments and immunizations being completed and updated. So we've had some immunization clinics here on campus for both 7th grade and 12th grade. And just two other things I wanted to mention. We did have a medical emergency last week, and it was a serious medical emergency of a pre-K student. And it was a scary time, but also it was a really great response by our on-site staff, as well as EMS and the sheriff's office, and everybody coming together to intervene quickly. And thankfully, that little guy's home from the hospital and healing, and we're very thankful for that. But it was just it was great to see all of the different groups working together to make sure that there was quick intervention. Also, just wanted to mention, as you'll remember, recently there was some public comment from the Sheriff's Office and from the Clay County K-9 Initiative regarding the hope of adding a K-9 unit to our SRO staff. And they held a fundraiser the last weekend in September. They raised $23,000. So they did raise enough money to purchase and train a K-9. And so the next steps would be that we would work together to create an MOU that would be presented to the board for consideration to see if that's something that you all desire to move forward with for the school system. So that's super exciting. And that's all I got. Any questions?
Very good. Any questions or comments?
Been a busy few weeks.
Just a few weeks, yeah. Very good. Thank you.
Is Bolton next?
Bolton is next.
Okay, well,
You wanna
that's me
start
too.
that?
Shelley is
Yeah.
not here, so I will try to answer any questions you may have. This is pretty routine, so she felt like I could handle it. Bolton, out of Asheville, Bolton Construction and Service of Western North Carolina, has been our contracted service for HVAC maintenance. The purpose of this contract really is to ensure efficient and safe, long-lasting operation of our HVAC systems, which improves equipment longevity, maintains warranty coverage, and it also gives us priority service when things are down, as well as discounts on parts. And so this is something that is an expensive contract. It's $49,188.48, billed in 2 installments. And this is not a service that's easily bid out to other vendors because there's not a lot of groups that are willing to service this area. So Bolton has been our vendor. They're also very familiar with our equipment and have been a good partner for us for quite some time now. So we would ask for approval of this contract. You will see that it was intended to start on October 1st because this was planned to be presented on September 22nd. So it is timely to get this approved if possible.
Any questions about the contract for Bolton?
So they make you buy the service contract to keep the warranties?
I don't believe so.
Maintains warranty coverage.
They make sure that our we're doing all the things to keep our warranty valid.
Yeah.
There's certain things you have to do in order for the warranty to stay valid. So they keep up with those things so that our warranties stay intact. That's about the extent of what I know.
Paying $380,000 for the gym, and if we don't do this, they don't cover under warranty.
Right.
Yeah. And we don't have people on staff that can do that kind of maintenance. Keep that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments about the Bolton contracts? If not, I'll entertain a motion that we approve that contract as presented.
Make a motion to approve.
Danny seconds, all in favor? Thank you. And next we have the consent agenda. And there we have the policies for approval: 6220, the school nutrition services, 6330, insurance for student transportation, and 7130, licensure. And then the August 25th, 2025 regular session board meeting minutes. So I'll entertain a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Make a motion, we approve.
Mr. Jones has a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Ash seconds. All in favor? Thank you. And then there for information are policies for the first read. We'll see parental involvement, 3210 parental inspection and objection to instructional materials. 3220 is school trips. 3620 is extracurricular activities and student organizations. And then 4318 is use of wireless communication devices.
Can I talk about
Yeah,
that just real quick?
Wesley, yes, we
Board
can.
members, this is in your Google Drive as well, but I went ahead and printed hard copies. The use of wireless communication devices is basically our cell phone policy. And so, as you know, the state recently passed legislation regarding cell phone use in schools. There are two options for this policy that the School Board Association has provided us with. I've given you a copy of both. The top one allows for the use of wireless communication devices outside of instructional time or during instructional time if for an instructional purpose. Option B, which is the second one in your packet, is a bell-to-bell policy, which says students would not be able to have cell phones out or enabled at any time bell-to-bell. What we're currently doing at the high school, middle school is bell-to-bell. They're put away and they cannot use them at all. That's how it's currently functioning in the middle school. At the high school level, we have allowed students to use their cell phones during their break times, such as lunch, breakfast, or in between classes, but they are to be powered off during class. And if you look at our educator handbook data, our students have been pretty compliant with that. We've had a few violations, but Mr. Overland and his team have put in into their handbook a list of consequences if their policy is not followed. That's what we currently have in place. We are required as a school system to have one of these policies in place by January 1st. So I wanted to bring it to your attention now so we have plenty of time for discussion and review of these two options. These are more significant changes than the other policy revisions we typically have, so I wanted to just bring those to light. I wanted to make sure you also had a printed copy for your review and discussion at the next meeting. So this will not be on the consent agenda next month. It'll be its own action item for discussion.
Everybody good with that? Any questions or comments?
So option B is that one is bell to bell. Same policy.
Yes.
That's bell to bell
But these
policy.
two are the same thing, right?
No.
No.
This allows for use in instructional time. This is a bell to bell policy. Yeah. So there are two different versions that the board can choose from. Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion that we go into closed session. Second. Mr. Caldwell, Mr. Jones, second.